Ow, my God, they're bugging.
Man blood.
Well, I still kind of want to.
Also mentions a younger.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
All right, so guys, we're back with some more Resident Evil. Now, I just watched the Resident Evil Village trailer because I'm trying to play the demo for the first time, and I was wondering basically what the fuck was happening. Realized I didn't know what the fuck I was looking at. I didn't understand anything except a little bit of Resident Evil 7, some of the stuff that went back there. But I'm just gonna watch a 30-minute video on the Resident Evil timeline. Now, I'm not sure how in-depth this is going to be or like how much information they'll leave out or leave in. I don't know. But I hope I learned more than I already knew, which wasn't much. So let's get right. All right, I'm going to be honest. That first video, I got a few minutes into it. I wasn't feeling it the way it was. I was like, I knew because GameStop made it, I probably wasn't going to be like too into it. And if I'm going to watch a catch-up video that's longer than 5 minutes, then I'm gonna need it to grab me a little bit more, and the leaderboard never disappoints, so I'm gonna go with this one.
As bioorganic weapons have mutated over the years, Resident Evil's story has changed along with it. But amid these changes, old faces and names, from the Redfields to the Weskers to the Birkins of the world, keep popping back up. So with the Resident Evil 2 remake on the way, we're taking you through the whole series, from the progenitor virus to the mold and everything in between. Hi, I'm Sydney with the Leaderboard, and this is the Resident Evil
Hey,
timeline.
Sydney.
December 4th, 1966. The whole story starts, innocently enough, with some lovely flowers. Inspired by the writings of Henry Travis, Doctors Oswell E. Spencer and James Marcus set out to find the Stairway of the Sun. Travis wrote that the Stairway of the Sun is a West African flower believed by locals to bestow amazing powers.
Yeah, it had the virus in
The
it.
flower contained a virus that
The
is
virus?
capable of scrambling
I remember
hormones
that
in
from the
egg.
last
I know
video.
the 60s were all about flower power, but this seems a little intense. With the newly dubbed progenitor virus, Spencer believes he can create an improved human race. All he needs is some time, research, and of course, cold hard cash. And what better way to fund a eugenics-based science project than by
Them
starting a
cases look
pharmaceutical
fire.
company? And so, along with Edward Ashford, Spencer and Marcus founded Umbrella Pharmaceuticals as a front for their research into the progenitor virus. Spencer sets up a research base in the Arklay Mountains, complete with its own booby-trapped mansion to keep intruders away. Perhaps Spencer should have settled for a quaint log cabin, because these three stooges started running out of money for their research. To pick up the financial slack, the three agreed to independently develop strains of the progenitor virus as bioorganic weapons and sell them to the U.S. military. This scheme would come to be known as the T-Virus Project.
That's
July
fire. That's
1968.
fire.
With the help of his son, Alexander, Edward Ashford had been doing his own progenitor research. When an accident occurs at the research base, that was all too convenient for Spencer, if you catch my drift. Edward Ashford is infected with the progenitor virus and dies. Alexander is left as the sole head of the Ashford family, an inheritor of his father's research. Unfortunately for him, Alexander was more into genetics than viruses. He couldn't make heads or tails of the progenitor virus. So, to reclaim his family status, he puts his noggin to use the only way he knows how: cloning. Using DNA from
What the
Ashford
fuck?
family
I wasn't
matriarch,
expecting that.
VERONICA, Alexander launches the Code VERONICA project. 1971. After 3 years of research in the Antarctic base, Code VERONICA is complete, and the twins, Alexia and Alfred, are born? Created? Ooh, yeah, created sounds better.
I don't like that.
13th, 1978. After years of research, James Marcus completes development of the T-virus. Rather than dying, like with the progenitor virus, hosts infected with the T-virus become mindless, flesh-hungry zombies. Now we're getting to the real meat and potatoes of Resident
okay.
Evil. But Oswell E. Spencer wasn't there to pop the bubbly over Marcus's success.
Wait, hold up. So,
1978. After years of research, James Marcus completes development of the T-virus. Rather than dying, like with the progenitor virus, hosts infected with the T-virus become mindless, flesh-hungry zombies.
Okay.
Now we're getting to the real meat and potatoes of Resident Evil.
When
Oswell
they
E.
gonna make the
Spencer wasn't there to
superheroes, though?
pop
The
bubbly over
superhumans.
Marcus's success. By this point, the two have been in a BOW arms race to crack the code of the progenitor virus first. Marcus's development gave him a solid lead in the fight to control Umbrella. It's alright though, because Marcus doesn't celebrate alone. He hires two young, ambitious upstarts to his team that same year, William Birkin and Albert Wesker. I bet those two have a bright future ahead of them. 1981.
I wish I got that
Age
joke.
10, Alexia
Princess
Alfred
Peach?
becomes the head scientist of Umbrella's Antarctic facility. 1983. Back in the frozen hellscape of Antarctica, things are starting to boil over. Alexia and Alfred discover how their father came to create them and resent him for it. So, gruesome twosome begin experimenting on Alexander, a bona fide virology genius.
Oh, that's
Alexia
fucked up.
combines the progenitor virus with genes from a queen
Oh,
ant.
shit.
Then, naturally, she injects that concoction into Alexander.
Oh.
The experiment fails, and Alexander is morphed into a terrible genetic monstrosity.
Oh,
Yes,
that's fire.
Nosferatu. But
Oh, that's
Alexia
fire.
is not
He's
deterred.
Nosferatu?
She injects
Wait, what?
herself
Wait, hold on.
only as Nosferatu. Butter is morphed into a terrible genetic monstrosity known only as Nosferatu.
Okay, I was about to say, I was like, I know damn well that Nosferatu did not come from that.
But Alexia is not deterred. She injects herself with this new T. Veronica virus, lovingly named after her cell donor. To
Oh, no,
avoid
she's bugging.
Alexander's fate and contain the virus, Alexia puts herself into a 15-year cryostasis and tasks Alfred with overseeing her sleep. 1980.
What?
James Marcus had spent plenty
Wait,
of
why
time
would she?
with the
Why'd she do
virus,
that?
lovingly named after her cell donor. To avoid Alexander's fate and contain the virus, Alexia puts herself into a 15-year
Oh, she injected
cryostasis
herself. Wait, why she inject herself? Am I stupid?
But Alexia is not deterred. She injects herself with this new T. Veronica virus,
Why-
lovingly named after her cell donor.
She's
to avoid
stupid.
Alexander's fate and contain the virus, Alexia puts herself
Okay,
into a
she did that.
15-year
Okay.
cryostasis and tasks Alfred with overseeing her sleep. 1988.
Okay. Okay.
James Marcus had spent plenty of time tinkering with his fancy new T-virus, making all kinds of fun, horrible creations. While
Right.
he's working on his latest project, the Queen Leech, Marcus is assassinated by the Umbrella Security Service under orders from Oswald Spencer. I guess Spencer finally let his paranoia get the better of him because he sent his best boys, Wesker and Birkin, to do his dirty
Okay.
work. Marcus and his Queen Leech are discarded, and William Birkin is given official credit for developing the T-virus, along with all of Marcus's research. Yikes! That's like Edison levels of unethical science. And what a year for unethical science it was. Using Marcus's research, Birkin begins development of the T2, better known as the Tyrant. Meanwhile, across the pond, Umbrella Europe creates a parasite lovingly called Nemesis Alpha. Tyrant and Nemesis? I'm feeling STARS struck with all these classic Resident Evil villains. 1991. Even though William Birkin's
I wish I
name doesn't
had that
have
same
the
feeling.
panache of, say, Tyrant or Nemesis, he's still a pretty villainous dude on his own. Using the Nemesis Alpha
Oh, so I never played the remakes. Is Tyrant Mr. T or Mr. T? Is that what his name? T-00 was dropped near the Raccoon police station. It's owned like the other 5 who were deployed just to see how well the 2 fared after G and that. Before it could kill them, itself was stabbed through the chest by. Okay, so yeah, Resident Evil 2. I remember because I saw Berlizzi play this. Play Resident Evil 2. I knew, and I think he called him Mr. T or some shit. Okay, T, Tyrant, and Nemesis was the first. Okay.
developed in Europe, he discovers a new strain of progenitor virus, the Golgotha virus, or G virus, if you're hip. Unlike the T virus, which causes the host's mind and body to deteriorate, the G virus lets its host repair dead cells. Spencer must have smelled the possibility of immortality in the air. He's so jazzed about the G virus that he builds Birkin a whole new laboratory underneath Raccoon City to research it. That's some prime real estate. So far, we haven't even touched the games. Umbrella has spent the last 30 years researching and experimenting
That's what I'm saying.
with a
Like,
few hitches, from Spencer's point of view that is. All the zombie dominoes have been lined up. Some zombinos? Zombies? Anyway, it's time to party like it's 1998. Enter the survival horror. May 11th, 1998. Remember our old pal James Marcus? Turns
Barely.
out that his Queen Leech project has spent the past 10 years fusing with his mind and body. And so, as an act of revenge, the new and Improved Marcus
Oh, that's
causes
fire.
a total containment failure at the Arclay laboratory. The T-virus infects the staff.
Oh, that's fire.
The dogs escape into the Arclay Mountains, and the nightmare begins.
Oh, that's fire.
July
That's
23rd,
fire.
1998.
That's fire.
Resident Evil 0. After reports of multiple zombie
That's
and
scarily close to when I was born.
deaths, the Raccoon City Police Department deploys the Special Tactics and Rescue Service to investigate the area via helicopter. The STARS Bravo team is forced to crash land after the helicopter malfunctions and conduct the rest of their investigation on foot. What a convenient malfunction, eh, Umbrella? But Bravo team aren't the only ones snooping around. Umbrella sends their best boys, William Birkin and Albert Wesker, to find out what happened, and possibly hand out some pink slips. Birkin activates the self-destruct sequence for the facility to cover the whole thing up. Meanwhile, Bravo team's rookie medic, Rebecca Chambers, destroys the Queen Leech. From there, she heads off to the Spencer Mansion to find the rest of Bravo team. July 24th, 1998. Resident Evil. Who rescues the rescuers? Stars Alpha team, of course. Alpha ventures into the Arclay Mountains to find the now incommunicado Bravo team. Their squad leader? The incomparable Albert Wesker. A double agent? I knew I couldn't trust those sunglasses. Under Umbrella's orders, Wesker searches the Spencer Mansion for any and all incriminating evidence and promptly destroys it. Except, of course, for Umbrella's research that he keeps for himself. A triple agent? Wesker, you rascal! Once the rest of the stars...
This dude's on his mission.
Wesker releases the
on his
unfinished
own.
T2 Tyrant. The Tyrant promptly gores Wesker, but not before Wesker injects himself with a prototype virus given to him by William Birkin. That
Fire.
explains Wesker's
Fire.
teleporting, red-eyed trenchcoat look. But Wesker underestimated the Resident Evil Dream Team, Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine. With a rocket launcher, a helicopter, and an ever-so-useful self-destruct button, the two destroy the Tyrant and
Fire.
the entire
Fire.
Spencer Mansion. Chris, Jill, their comrade Barry Burton, and Bravo team's Rebecca Chambers all escape the explosion. You better believe Wesker escapes too! With his new highly confidential souvenirs, he decides to flip Umbrella the Bird and join a mysterious rival organization known only as the Organization. See, Umbrella? That's doing corporate espionage right. September 23rd, 1998. Like Wesker, William Birkin is pretty fed up with Umbrella. Despite all his breakthroughs, Spencer never had the decency to promote him to an executive position. So, Birkin agrees to hand over himself and all of his research to the US military. Unfortunately, Umbrella gets to him before he can make the deal. Led by
Oh,
Hunk, the Umbrella
shit.
Secret Service has Birkin at gunpoint. At the sound of a
Damn.
crashing coffee mug, Hunk and the USS gun Birkin down and confiscate his work. But with his last moments, Birkin injects himself with a remaining sample of the G-virus. Because it's Resident
Chill.
Evil, Birkin's body reacts poorly to the G-virus, turning him into a horrible mutated monster. Birkin slaughters almost the entire USS team. Hunk and his pal Miguel make it out. During the fight,
Fire.
Birkin accidentally spills some T-virus into Raccoon City's water supply. What a klutz. September 27th, 1998.
Fire.
Resident Evil 3, Part 1. Over the next few days, the citizens of Raccoon City were either infected or killed by those
So
infected
he's
with the
Nemesis.
T-virus. Umbrella surveys the quickly deteriorating story. Part 1.
I don't know what the fuck's happening.
Citizens of Raccoon City were either infected or killed by those infected with the T-virus. Umbrella surveys the quickly deteriorating situation and decides to turn lemons into lemonade. Raccoon City becomes Umbrella's personal playground. They deploy their trained soldiers and a smattering of BOWs like hunters and T-103 tyrants. They just want to see how their little monsters fare would stack up in a real battle. As curious as Umbrella is about their stable of unstable genetic monstrosities, all eyes are on the Nemesis T-type. The Nemesis was designed and deployed to eliminate the surviving STARS members from the
Okay,
Mansion incident.
okay.
It's the only word that
That's
they
Nemesis.
knows.
All right,
The
so he
Skyline
just
is
ugly.
hell-bent on
All right,
finding
for
the
sure.
G's in the maze of Raccoon City. First, it takes out Brad Vickers, the STARS team pilot. Next on the list is Jill Valentine. Resident is just within
Hey,
the
Sydney.
reach of her, but she manages to escape, leaving the Nemesis to burn in a fire. Still, it wasn't the
Damn.
cleanest getaway. Jill becomes infected with the T-virus during the fight. September 28th, 1998. Resident Evil 2. Now infected with the G-virus, a heavily mutated William cleanest getaway, but she next.
Am I stupid? Hold up. Hold up. Hey,
September
oh.
27th,
Resident Evil 3, Part 1. And then it goes to Resident Evil 2?
Over the next with their incident of Raccoon Valentine burn in a fire. September 28th, 1998. Resident Evil 2. Now infected with the G-virus, a heavily mutated William Birkin is wandering around Raccoon City in search of his
So he's the
daughter,
big
Sharon.
motherfucker. All right, for
It
sure.
sounds sweet, but he's not looking for her out of paternal instinct. Instead, Birkin's G-virus side is just looking for a compatible host, and knows Sherry is a good choice because of her blood relations.
Oh, that's
Not
fucked up.
nearly as sweet. Eventually,
fucked up.
Birkin implants Sherry with a G-virus embryo, and the clock starts ticking.
Oh,
Not to
hell
worry, though,
no.
Sherry. She's in good hands. The hands of Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield. Who are they, you ask? Well, Leon's a rookie cop, and Claire's Chris Redfield's sister, who's still in college. Okay, maybe there are more qualified folks that Sherry could have run to, like her mom, Annette Birkin. Before she's killed by her now unrecognizable husband, Annette tells Leon and Claire how to create a vaccine to stop the G embryo inside of Sherry. Sure enough, the two underdogs pull through and subdue the virus. Subdue, not destroy.
Oh
This is
my
Resident
God.
Evil. You think it's ever that simple? Of course not. And one of the least simple characters in the whole series is Ada Wong, a spy for the enigmatic organization that rivals Umbrella. Ada is sent to Raccoon City to retrieve a sample of the G-virus. After several run-ins with Leon,
She
Claire, and
fired.
company, Ada
She
retrieves
is
the G-virus
fine.
for the organization. But what of our sweet Billy Birkin?
Wait, sorry, I missed everything. When she was on screen, I just okay.
After several run-ins with Leon, Claire, and company, Ada retrieves the G-virus for the organization.
Okay,
But
okay.
what of our sweet
Mission
Billy
success.
Birkin? Well, as Claire, Leon, and Sherry are escaping the city,
Oh,
via
man,
train,
that's-
Birkin attacks in his last act of desperation.
Oh, what is that? Why is it
Being evased, the
pulsating?
now blobified Birkin flips the self-destruct switch on the train and puts Birkin out of his misery for good. October 1st, 1998, Resident Evil 3, Part 2. Jill Valentine has been posting up in a clock tower,
Huh?
slowly succumbing to the T-virus.
Okay.
Her new pal, a mercenary named Carlos Oliveira, finds a vaccine and injects Jill with it, subduing the T-virus. Again, subduing. Once Jill
Oh,
is up and
man.
at him, she and Carlos hightail it out of Raccoon City. But not before destroying Nemesis with a friggin' rail gun. And they made
Fire.
it just in time. The US government decided to contain and cover up the situation by bombing Raccoon City into...
I remember that. I remember that.
Details to emerge about the Raccoon City destruction incident were Umbrella's involvement. December 27th, 1998. Resident Evil Code Veronica.
Jesus
Remember
fucking
those
Christ.
Stuffy Ashford twins, Alexia and Alfred? Well, they and their T Veronica virus eventually piqued Wesker's interest, along with his organization. He and his hive host, Capture Force, are dispatched to Rockport Island, the headquarters of Alfred Ashford. While Wesker is investigating, he encounters Chris Redfield, who is searching for his sister Claire, Umbrella's prisoner at Rockport Island. Wesker shows off his neat new powers, and Chris finds out that Claire and her new prisoner pal, Steve, were actually transported to Antarctica after handing Alfred Ashford his own ass. No match for Wesker at this point, Chris books it to Antarctica, where he encounters a no longer dormant Alexia Ashford. In the subsequent battle, Steve kicks the bucket, but Chris destroys Alexia, rescues Claire, sets the Antarctic base to self-destruct, and escapes back to civilization.
Oh, these self-destructions.
Damn, Chris! No wonder your arms are so freakishly big by Resident Evil 5. You're a straight-up action movie star. If only Steve could have survived to witness your glory. While the Redfields were kicking ass and taking names,
Okay.
Umbrella was shuffling around with its tail between its legs. After the Raccoon City incident, the US government came down hard on Umbrella, forbidding it from doing business in the US and federalizing all the company's assets. Add the destruction of the Rockfort and Antarctic bases into the mix, and Umbrella was left licking its wounds. 2000.
Damn.
In collaboration with Wesker's Hive Host Capture Force, a crime syndicate known as The Connections developed a new fungus-based bioweapon. The new bioweapon, capable of controlling the mind of its host, would come to be known as the Mold. 2003. Well, the jig is finally up,
Huh? What?
and Umbrella was left...
Sorry, I was confused because I was
2000.
okay.
In collaboration with Wesker's Hive Host
Okay.
Capture Force, a crime syndicate known as
Okay.
Connections developed a new fungus.
The organization, Umbrella, the
bioweapon
connections.
capable of controlling the mind of its host would come to be known as
The Mold. Okay.
2003. Well, the jig is finally up, Oswell E. Spencer. Umbrella has been embroiled in a legal battle with the U.S. government since the destruction of Raccoon City. Even Umbrella's top-of-the-line lawyers can't save Umbrella from the truth. No matter how many viruses you pump into them, Albert Wesker passes
Fire.
along some damning evidence to the U.S. government, and Umbrella is officially ruined. Spencer goes into hiding, wanted by
Fire.
both the U.S. and Russian governments. Geez, good luck, man. Meanwhile,
Wait, Spencer or
both the
that's
US
Spencer, right?
and Russian governments really ruined. Spencer goes into
Okay,
hiding,
yeah, that's
wanted by both the US and Russian governments. Geez, good luck, man. Meanwhile, on the other side of justice, Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine established the Bioterrorism Security Assessment Alliance to combat the global threat of BOWs.
Jesus.
The best part?
If I hear one
BSAA
more
is a
organization name.
way less catchy acronym than STARS. If Nemesis ever came back, he'd have a trickier time learning that one. Shortly after Umbrella's collapse, Albert Wesker makes a deal with Tricell. Wesker agrees to help Tricell develop bioweapons if they fund his latest nefarious project, Ouroboros, 2004 to 2005, Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil Revelations. Alright, hold on. Don't go punching any boulders just yet. Resident Evil 4 and Revelations are both great games, but their stories are relatively self-contained. Leon saves the president's daughter from a Spanish cult, and Jill goes on a zombie-filled cruise. If that sounds reductive, it is. Really, the most important takeaway from this part of the timeline is that Ada Wong retrieves a sample of Las Plagas in Resident Evil 4. And
Damn, fine ass.
2006, Resident Evil 5.
She
Lost
always
in
is
Nightmare's
successful
DLC.
though.
Back at it again in the BSAA. See, it really just does not roll off the tongue. Anyway, BSAA agents Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine, the dream team, of course, track Oswald E. Spencer to his estate in Europe. When they reach Spencer's chambers, they
Right,
find Albert
'cause
Wesker
Wesker's fucked them up,
standing
right?
over Spencer's corpse.
Yeah,
Wesker and the
yeah,
dream
yeah.
team throw hands, bullets, basically everything they have.
Oh, that is
Just
fire.
as Wesker is about to
Who
break
is
the curtain
he?
down on Chris Redfield,
Wesker's, I
Jill
already know that. I don't know why I
tackles Wesker
asked.
through the window, and they fall to the rocks below. Of course,
What a
the two
beast.
survive the fall. I like to think that
What?
Wesker teleported himself and Jill straight to a lab before they even hit the ground. Imagine how giddy Wesker must have been when he discovered the dormant T virus in Jill's blood. Over the years, the T virus
Right.
made it to Jill's body, forming a kind of antibody. Using this antibody, Wesker creates a prototype version of Ouroboros. 2007.
That's
The
fucked
remaining
up.
assets of Umbrella's US branch
Why him
and
choking her
help
kinda got
former
me horny a little
employees,
bit.
The newer executives decide to reform the company into a private military company. Devoted to fighting against bioweapons, the new Blue Umbrella is created to atone for the original organization's crimes.
This is
April
Chris. That's Chris
2008.
Redfield,
What would you
right?
do if I gave you a parasite? Would you research and develop it for me? Tricell gets by with a little help from their friend Wesker and the Las Plagas sample he acquired from Spain, courtesy of Ada Wong. Working out of Umbrella's old African
She's so
research
fine and she
center,
know it.
Tricell completes development of the Type 2 and Type 3
She made out like
Plaga
3
species
pixels and she's still
wastes
fine.
no time infecting the citizens of Kijuju as a trial run. Classic
Golly.
Umbrella move, Tricell. You're well on your way. Of course, Wesker is already looking at the bigger picture. By the time Ouroboros is perfected, Wesker plans to disperse it globally via missile.
Oh.
Only those with compatible DNA would survive as an evolved human, while everyone else would
Die?
from exposure.
Oh, they're
March
tripping. They're
2009,
bugging. They're bugging.
Resident
Get it?
Evil 5.
Alright.
Not so fast though, Wesker. Your old nemesis, Chris Redfield, and his new partner, Shiva Alamar, are here to stop you. After numerous encounters with infected locals, Chris and Shiva catch up to Wesker. Okay, great, but how do you fight a guy who can teleport and has super strength? You've been down this road before, Chris, but even Superman has his kryptonite. To keep his body stable, Wesker takes very specific doses of a serum called PG67A/W. Once Chris gets his hands on the serum, he injects Wesker with it enough times to even the playing field. Eventually, Wesker finds himself on the wrong side of a pool of boiling magma and is, finally, for real this time, killed.
Wow.
Shiva, Chris, and his anchor arms win the day. The BSAA
What the fuck?
investigates Tricell's goings-on in Kijuju, and they're effectively given the umbrella treatment, if you know what I mean. To be clear, I mean they're brought to justice through the proper legal channels, not turned into a flesh-eating zombie. Sorry, Tricell, crime doesn't pay. 2011, Resident Evil Revelations 2. Just like the first Revelations game, this game is a self-contained story. There's a new virus developed from Ouroboros. Albert Wesker has a sister who takes over a little girl's consciousness. It's a whole can of plagas that we don't need to open, since it has no bearing on the story moving forward. What can you expect from a sequel of a spin-off? 2012 to 2013,
Fair enough.
Resident Evil 6. You want to talk about a real can of plagas? Well, let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say giraffe in the room, that is Resident Evil 6. With 4 different campaigns,
Oh, 'cause
following
the 6
4
looks like a
different
giraffe?
characters over the span of 2 years, the plot of RE6 could be its own timeline
I don't get
video.
that.
Between Albert Wesker's illegitimate son teaming up with say giraffe in the room. That is
It does look like a
Resident
giraffe,
Evil
alright.
6.
Yeah.
4 different campaigns following 4 different characters over
Oh
the
my
span
God.
of 2 years. The plot of
Damn.
RE6 could be its own timeline video. Between Albert Wesker's illegitimate son teaming up with RE2's Sherry Birkin and the
She
plot
cute.
to clone Ada Wong, RE6
Everybody in this
hits
show cute.
Kojima levels of convoluted story. Here's the important bits you should know. Carla Radames perfects the C virus by combining the T Veronica virus with the G virus. Like any Resident Evil virus worth its salt, it becomes a threat to the world's population. And, as luck would have it, the US government develops a vaccine and contains the C virus. Now that that's out of the way, let's make like Capcom and leave Resident Evil 6 in the dust. 2014. After years of developing the mold, the Connections created an all-new bioweapon capable of telepathically
Yeah, I remember
manipulating
her.
mold. E-001, codenamed Evelyn, is human in appearance, designed to blend into society and control their minds after exposure. As the Connections are transporting Evelyn along the Louisiana Gulf, Evelyn loses control, infecting everyone on board the ship, including researcher Mia Winters, and destroying the ship itself. The destroyed ship eventually hits land near the Baker Ranch in Dolby, Louisiana. Jack Baker discovers the shipwreck and brings Evelyn into his home, believing her to be a normal little girl. From there, she proceeds to infect Jack and the rest of the Bakers. You've gotta hand it to the Connections.
Fire.
E-001 works like a charm. January 2015. The Connections eventually catch wind of the situation and administer a serum to Lucas Baker, Jack's son. Lucas becomes their man on the inside, reporting Evelyn's behavior and further experimenting with the mold. July 2017, Resident Evil 7. Ethan Winters rolls up to the Baker residence, armed with nothing more than his car
Oh,
keys
because that
and
was the
a smartphone.
DLC, right?
Poor guy is just looking for his wife Mia.
No,
He
it wasn't
finds
the
her all
DLC.
right.
I think it was
Just
part of
like
the game.
Bakers, she succumbed to Evelyn's mind control and tries to kill Ethan almost immediately. Ethan spends the rest of the night combating the Bakers, all while
Right,
helping Zoe,
right.
the daughter, develop a serum.
Right,
Surprisingly,
right.
Ethan succeeds. He even takes Ma and Pa Baker out too. But when Evelyn finally goes berserk, it's time for the
Yeah.
boys to take over. In
Yeah,
swoops
because Evelyn was
Chris,
the old
older
bitch.
puncher
Grandma,
Redfield,
whatever.
working in conjunction with Blue Umbrella. They help Ethan destroy Wings Chris, Boulder Puncher Redfield, working in conjunction with Blue Umbrella. They help Ethan destroy Evelyn for good, and then start tracking Lucas down. Chris prevents Lucas from sending data to the Connections and personally puts him out of commission. Umbrella contains the outbreak, and the world is rid of one more bio.
Oh, Lucas was the kid, right?
Phew.
Lucas
All
was
this
the.
time sending
I
data
need.
to
Hold
the
on.
Connections
Jesus.
for good, and then start tracking Lucas down. Chris prevents Lucas from sending data to the Connections and
Right,
personally
right.
puts him out of commission.
Okay,
Umbrella
right.
contains the outbreak, and the world is rid of one more bioweapon. For now.
Great.
Phew.
That's great.
All
Outstanding.
this talk of viruses makes me want to get a second flu shot. As crazy as it can get sometimes, there's no resisting the infectious charm of Resident Evil's story. If you're anything like Umbrella,
So what's with
you'll want to get
Village?
a
What's
leg
the
up
plot
on your
behind-
rival organization. Arm yourself with knowledge by
Why
watching
is there like a
107 Facts
bad
of Resident
bitch
Evil. Also,
in there
be sure to
and
subscribe
like
to
a fat
Leaderboard.
dude
I've been
and
your host, Sydney. Thanks for
and why is she so bad though? She's so bad. I see why Twitter was going ham with her. I'm just. I don't even. I'm just gonna. Okay. In the trailer, they showed Chris, I think, and then Ethan is there. He's trying to save somebody. Then it's not. The bitch is crazy. But in the trailer, he said, "You're the reason Mia died." Mia died, but you saved him. You saved her and Zoe. No, you chose right. At the end, you have to choose between Zoe and Mia. So is this one of those games where they pick a certain ending and then that's canon? Okay, nah. Okay, Mia is the canon ending because in the trailer you said Chris killed Mia. Is it because the vaccine subdued the virus? So Chris was like, nah, she gotta go? Was that what happened between Resident?
Did you know they're making a new Resident Evil? We haven't seen this beloved, storied horror franchise since, well, anyway, they're making a new one. The 8th mainline game in the series, in fact, simply titled Resident Evil Village. Thanks to Capcom's recent showcase, we now have a pretty good idea of what the game is, from what it's about, to how it plays, to when it's coming out. Spoilers, it's really soon. This video is going to tell you everything you need to know about Resident Evil Village, and maybe you'll learn why everyone is super thirsty for that very tall vampire lady. If you find this video useful, we'd really appreciate a like and sub, but hey, the fact that you're here already means a lot. Now, let's talk.
I appreciate that,
Resident
homie. I'll decide if I want to like. Let me see what you're talking.
Village is a follow-up to 2017's Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Right.
Once again, set in the shoes of Ethan Winters.
Right.
Village takes place a few years after the events of the Baker Mansion, and Ethan and his wife Mia have settled down after all that madness.
Okay.
And getting busy apparently because they have a child now.
Oh, I didn't know all that.
Resident Evil 7 has two endings, one where Mia dies.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
one where she lives. The Mia lives ending has become the canonical ending that Village goes off of. The plot kicks off when Ethan's home is invaded, his daughter kidnapped, and Mia seemingly murdered. Ethan's quest to save his daughter leads him to the titular Mia. Side note,
Fire. I remember watching the trailer, but I didn't react to it.
She lives. The Mia
I
lives
don't-
ending has
I
become
didn't understand what was
the
happening, so I didn't pay
canonical ending
attention.
that Village goes off of. The plot kicks off when Ethan's home is invaded, his daughter kidnapped, and Mia seemingly murdered. Ethan's quest to save his daughter leads him to the titular Village. But who took his daughter and why? Well, it's looking like series poster boy Chris Redfield is responsible.
Okay.
Chris
Yeah.
has long
Original.
been the
Okay.
series'
Okay.
lawful
Understanding.
Boy Scout. Sure, he's
Chris
had
did
his,
kill me. All right. It makes sense. The second trailer makes sense. This trailer I
but
just
he
watched.
always rises to the occasion to do what's right and punch his way through large boulders and into our hearts, which makes the horrible actions he's committed against Ethan's family all the more shocking. Why Chris has gone off the deep end like this will no doubt be one of the game's biggest mysteries. The box art of the game shows the brooding face of Redfield mirrored with a werewolf. Does Chris turn into a werewolf?
A lichen.
That would be incredible. It is entirely possible that this isn't even the real Chris Redfield. After all, he's looking a lot beefier than the last time we saw him, but also that Chris is slimmer than the one punching the boulder, but that Chris is different from the one in Code Veronica, which to be perfectly frank, looks nothing like this guy, and you know what? Chris's
Not gonna lie, that
true
was kinda
role as a
hilarious.
villain or hero is still left up for debate, but we still have a very clear
Damn! Every time I see her, I get it.
Ethan Winters,
Who are these chicks?
you escaped
They
my
need-
little brother's idiot game.
They cool.
did you?
She is the owner of a massive castle that looms over the village.
Right.
Common people are terrified of the place and Demetrescu, and as we've seen from the recently released Maiden demo, those who enter the castle don't leave.
A little harder. Hello. Okay. Never mind.
Also, we have her three terrifying daughters who possess
Right,
the
right,
ability
right,
to
right.
turn into a swarm of bugs.
That's
and want
fucking
nothing
gross.
More than to string Ethan up and
They're
eat him
bugging.
alive.
They're bugging. Ow! My God, they're bugging.
Man blood.
Well, I still kind of want to.
Demetrescu also mentions a younger brother who might possibly be this Van Helsing-looking motherfucker. Demetrescu and her family are seemingly the ones behind the kidnapping of Ethan's daughter, all part of a ceremony for one Mother Miranda.
Yes, of course, I understand the importance of the ceremony. I won't let you down.
So in the game, you'll be exploring both the Demetrescu castle and the surrounding village. It's designed to be one seamless map you can explore. Its overall size is yet to be seen, but there's meant to be a greater emphasis on exploration than previous Resident Evils.
Fuck me.
Gameplay will be
I'm
building
really
off
good
of
at the
first-person
linear shit.
nature of Resident Evil 7. This time around, guarding takes even greater importance to help Ethan counter foes, and you have the option to push them away if you're getting crowded. We've also seen a much greater variety of enemies, which is excellent.
This is
for
also
those
Dark
that
Souls
found
shit.
the
I'm-
oldest in Resident Evil 7 a little one note. We've got these ghoulish-looking boys wearing cloaked rags and rocking swords and battle axes in the castle dungeon. Meanwhile, in the village, Ethan is attacked by a group of beefy, hairy, werewolf-like men, and one massive,
You missed that
bearded
shot.
man with a giant hammer, who's given me big executioner vibes from Resident Evil 5. Honestly, the whole thing kind of feels like Resident Evil 4 infused with Bloodborne, two of my favorite games ever made, and I am here for it.
Oh no, he got combos. He got combos.
If it's just looking, window shop away.
This big dude,
Speaking
right?
of Resident Evil 4, Village has
Oh, I don't
version
like how he
of its
came out belly
own,
first.
a lovely fellow known as the Duke. His shop lets you buy and sell weapons and ammo, as well as purchase gun upgrades, just like in Resident Evil 4. Also returning is the Tetris-style inventory management system.
Right.
Creating first aid meds is now done from a new crafting menu. You can also craft ammo, just like in Resident Evil 3. The game very much feels like a collection of the Resident Evil franchise's best ideas fused into one game. Finally, it's worth mentioning that Resident Evil Village comes with a free separate Resident Evil multiplayer game called RE-verse.
Oh yeah, I remember that. People talking about that, but I didn't know what to think about it.
Match where you pick your favorite character and duke it out in iconic Resident Evil locations, such as the Raccoon City Police Department. RE-verse is another game in a long line of Capcom attempting weird multiplayer-focused Resident Evil games. Will this be the one that finally works out?
That's fire.
Well, just have to wait and see.
That's kind of fire.
So when can you get your
I guess you have a
hands on the
second
game?
life. When you die,
Thankfully,
you
only
turn
have
into
to
the
wait a
monster
few
you like or
months
whatever.
as the game releases on May 7th. Originally, Village was only announced for current-gen systems, i.e. PS5,
that's a week
Xbox
before I get out the
Series
army.
X and PC, but it
I'm
has
about to.
now been confirmed for PS4 and Xbox One.
Right.
That's still too long of a wait and you're chomping at the bit to try it out, and you happen to be one of the 5 people on the planet that owns a PS5, then you can check out the exclusive Maiden demo. It's described as a visual showcase that is its own separate experience, not part of the full game. If you don't have a PS5, don't worry, we captured the whole demo and you can watch it right here after this. Capcom is also aware that most people don't have a PS5, so there will be a separate second demo released on all platforms sometime this spring. So, that's everything you need to know about Resident Evil Village. So far, it's shaping up to be
That's the
not
one I'm about to
only
play,
a
I think.
fantastic follow-up to Resident Evil 7, but
Bro,
in many
I'm really
ways,
actually not
a
looking forward to
follow-up
this.
the mechanics and themes of Resident Evil 4, which is really hard to not get excited about. Hopefully we'll get some hands-on time with the game before its full release, so make sure
Damn, why I
to
kind
take a
of
spot for
like that a little
as
bit.
well as our full coverage and
This is a
review.
problem.
Thanks for watching.
Hey, thanks for. Hey, you did your thing. Did I already like it? I think I already liked it. Yeah, you did your thing on this. You did your thing on this. All right. So, well, that caught me up quite a bit. I actually feel comfortable going into this game's story, not into this game necessarily. I probably won't beat it. I'm being honest, but we'll see. If you enjoyed the video, like the video. If you didn't, dislike the video. Leave a comment section below. Keep your head up, and I'll focus on it. Peace.
Bye.